when I leave work at times, I'm in a rush to get home. Um, you're trying to get to your car, everybody's trying to get to their car. But I caught myself one day, I'm walking and I'm like, well, it's a beautiful day out. I didn't even notice. I've been inside a building the whole day. And then I get outside, I was like, it's a beautiful day, but I'm just so focused on what's next and not in the present. Research from Harvard and different universities say that mindfulness can reduce emotional reactivity and improve overall well-being. It's so effective, but many of us don't use it and pause and breathe. So why do you think it's so hard at times?
It's difficult because we're animals of survival. I mean, been surviving forever, right? So when you're surviving, I mean, I also feed cats. I'm an animal person, right? I love watching them and how they're like, right? And so that's what we've been doing. So we have to remember who we are. So we are animals. We have survived, right? By being able to not only fight other predators, right? But by being social, right? And that's new, right? But we were social, before we are social, we're animals. So it is difficult. And even though society is more and more connected and in a way safe, even though things change and fluctuate and safety levels go up and down, if we really look through history,
Right.
right? It is still a lot better than it used to be.
Mm.
Right? Goodness. All right. Let's hope it keeps on going that way.
Yeah.
And so, because of that, that nature still comes up. And then there's the other factor of generational trauma, right? With how the world used to be, we have generational trauma that keeps on getting passed and passed and passed over. And so when I have that, it's really difficult to be in the present moment here with you when I am in I don't know, talking to my past trauma from my childhood, right? And then I'm responding to you in that way, and that's what happens, right? And that's why it's so difficult. And so it does take a lot to be able to be in that present moment. It takes work. And the more trauma we have, the more work it takes. This is absolutely true. They've done research with yoga and people who have trauma. And because yoga actually helps you listen to your body, right? It actually can be really, it helps you release. For some people can be a little bit re-traumatizing. So I would, if you have a lot of trauma, I would definitely work with a therapist before you do that. Um, and what they found is that people that didn't have significant trauma and people that so what they did, let me just tell you about the study real quick, right? So they did yoga for a long period of time. People were feeling really great. And then they wanted to see if their levels of anxiety would go up and then go back to base levels, their new base level, right? And they had two groups, people without a lot of trauma, people with a lot of trauma. And what they found out is the people that didn't have trauma or had a very low levels of trauma, they were able to go back to base level, while the people that had a lot of trauma were not. They took a lot longer. So what that tells us is when we have a lot of trauma, we do have to work consistently on keeping our levels. And I don't say this to be like dramatic, right? I say this because I like to be completely honest when I'm speaking, right? And I want everybody that hears it to have the best life possible. And so, is it possible for you to live joyous and for long periods of time in that new base level that you find after, doing yoga, doing karate, or running, whatever it is that you want for that movement, and for your how do you work with your mind? Yes, yes. I've never felt so at peace with myself, joyous with myself. I see my clients how their joy levels, let's say, they endure for long periods of time. We do have those highs and lows, and we have to know that it may bring us down. And if we work on ourselves, we have the tools to go back up.